friend, when the intention is clear, so is the way. Decide what you want. The minute you decide you want better for yourself is the minute the entire universe begins to shift in your favor. So your declaration, your command, your intention, your vision and prayer begins the creation of the new reality. All you have to do today is decide and never look back. Decide and never look back. Are you ready for this? Let me know in the comment section if you're ready for this, because I'm not sure that you are. Let me know. Actually, I'm sure that you are. I believe in you. So I want to give you a few very, very helpful reminders to detach, to let go of the past, to let go of fear, to let go of the need to control things, because there is a whole cosmos moving with you when you're moving with it, when you're in tune with it, when you're in sync with it. You see, you're really not this body and this identity and everything you've been told. You're actually the life force that is giving life to life, right? And every time you get inspired, you move with spirit, right? You're infused with spirit and you want to experience more of it. That's when you experience a glimpse of what it means to be creator of this life. But the problem is that, we get attached to our plans, to our goals, to our ideas of how something should happen, even though we don't really know what's best for us and we don't really know what would be the best path. We can only experiment. We can, firstly experiment with our imagination, with intentions, and then we can experiment with, what feels the most right. And it doesn't mean don't have a plan. It doesn't mean don't have a strategy or whatever. It's kind of like balance between having plans but still being open for unexpected opportunities that may take us towards where we're aiming. It's not like having a plan like you want to be an artist and then opportunity comes to be an investor for something else and you grab it. I mean, if you really wholeheartedly want to be an artist, then aim towards being an artist and see how the universe will support you in this direction. So the art of detachment truly is to firstly let go of how you think things should be. Let go of how you think things should be. And this is ideal, right? This is an ideal of what we really think about when it comes to attachment, when it comes to clear alignment and walking in spirit, walking in inspiration. Letting go of how we think the things should be. Because so many times it is really killing our attitude, right? When we say, oh, it's not how I would like it to be. But who are you to say that things are not how they should be right now? Because maybe just where you are right now is actually shaping you to become who you need to be to experience a life you always wanted. Your talents need to be sharpened. And sometimes because of your attachments and fears and shame and guilt and frustration, you've been holding yourself in the box that you've long time ago outgrown, right? And something needed to push you because you had no idea how to push yourself. So life started breaking down for you. Or maybe a strong hit of inspiration got you. So you've begun this process of purification. So you could expand your awareness and knowledge to change your life, to purify your life, so you could become, right, the crystallization of your soul. Like Aristotle said something so powerful, it always moves me when I think about this, especially when I think about how my life is evolving and when I'm helping others to see, and to guide them or to help guide them in the most profound and meaningful direction. Aristotle said, man was born with talents, but it doesn't say that because of that he will become successful. Man will only become successful if he will practice to be successful. He will only become kind if he will practice kindness, and he will only become a good person if he will practice to be a good person. Therefore, success doesn't come out of talents. It comes out of a habit. So the thing is, many of you are very evolved souls, but also many of you haven't embraced that, so it is not helping you in any way to experience the most profound abundance of this life. You need to practice who you truly are, and you firstly need to discover what feels very, very unique and authentic to you. Like, what are your qualities? What are your strengths? What are your native natural talents? Could you explore them? Could you sharpen them? Could you build them up? Could you make something out of them? Could you really organize the time in your life the way that you would have more time to build yourself? And many times when you start really improving yourself, when you truly improve yourself, you also remove yourself from the life that is not helping you to rise up, right? So each improvement leads to kind of new direction. But you can't walk the same path and hope that things will change. You need to change the direction, and when you change the direction, you need to go through purification, so you don't carry on the baggage from the past. You need to let it go, right? And this is detachment. And when we're letting go of the baggage, we're also letting go of the ideas how we think things should be, because who we are to know, then to just allow our lives to be a massive experiment, right? Let's experiment with constructive things. Like, when I figured out that I truly want to become an artist in my life, I've noticed I will experiment with everything I have. Like, I will try all kinds of forms of art, and I will see which one will pull me the most. So I've started making music. I've started studying how to make music. Like I said, 1 hour a day I will dedicate to learn how to make music. So I had a laptop. I've started, using these programs to make music. And it was quite boring, even though I love rhythm. I love these hip hop beats, and that truly inspires me, but it was quite a boring process to me. So I knew, okay, this is not the thing for me. I tried graphic design, Photoshop and all of that. And I love that, but it was still really not like, this is where I can truly express myself. So then I started drawing again, because as a little kid I was drawing all the time, and I've noticed, here I truly lose myself in the process. And then later, when I've started seeing visions in my mind's eye, I said, I need to learn to paint because I want to make them colorful. And all of that became so intense and interesting and fun and playful, and I was in awe, and I kind of developed this sense of reverence for this source of ideas that are, finding me and inspiring me and moving me. And I've noticed this is the thing, and I'm saying that to you because there's something that you have within that will awaken within you, or is awakening within you right at this moment. Don't attach yourself to, like, I'm making music, so this is the thing, or I'm making art and this is the thing, or I'm building businesses and this is the thing. Explore it until something will pull you so strongly that you will lose yourself in it, and then it will build you up. Then you will go into, deeper processes of trial and error, where you will start kind of purifying yourself even more. Like the ancient alchemist said, one powerful saying from a very great alchemist is that the alchemist separates the pure from the impure and makes the impure pure by removing the dross. So basically, when you're moving through life, if you truly want to grow, improve, and become all that you can be, you're kind of removing the impure parts of you. Those are the ideas, thoughts, stories, emotional trauma and attachments that you've kind of, got from your environment, because as a little kid, you've been quite pure, right? And then you've been through impurity. So you've learned kind of how society is functioning, which is good, but then you need to go on your own path where you again purify yourself, but use this impurity of society to transmute it into inspiration, into steps, into power. And that's what we're doing, right? That's why it's so important to let go of how we think things should be, and actually allow life to inspire us, allow ideas to inspire us. I truly believe that inspiration is one of the most powerful forces when it comes to human evolution. So follow inspiration and accept things that are finding you out of nowhere. Accept that everything changes. Accept that things come and go. Accept that there is a law of freedom, a principle of freedom. Back in Hermetic principles, there is a principle of freedom which says everything moves, everything vibrates. There are ups and there are downs. And sometimes you're somewhere where you would say, oh, I don't want to be here. But you're moving through a profound natural process of cleansing, of purification, of letting go. So you will be ready for the rising, for the grand rising, right? So accept that everything changes, and also accept what is finding you, because what is finding you right now is exactly what you need. If losses are finding you, if destruction is finding you right now, accept it, because it's something you need at this point. If people are leaving you, well, accept it. Maybe you were not brave enough to let them go, so they've started letting you go. It's a good thing. It's time to free yourself, to find yourself, right? Another great art of detachment is to stay focused on the present moment, on what is happening right now, because so many times we're dwelling in the past and the future and, all over the time, all over the timelines. But if you focus on right now, you notice, okay, right now I am somewhere and I have something I could use to get myself where I want to be. This is the creative use of the present moment to build ourselves up into a greater version we can be, as life is a constant transmutation, right? It doesn't say you're not enough in this moment. You're all you have become until now, which is completely enough. It's perfect. You're perfect right now as you can be. You are enough. But it means there can be something more out of you. There can come something more out of you. You can become something more than you are today, which should inspire you to aim towards your higher self. Like, who is your higher self? And how your higher self would behave in this physical dimension. Who could you be? What would be the highest expression of you? Right? And then you don't attach yourself to that ideal and feeling like you're not there yet, you're not good enough. You see yourself as an inspiration. You see, again, the word inspiration means being fused with spirit. You need to be inspired by your higher self so that the spirit of inspiration can actually incarnate in your body and moves you, right? This is the art of detachment. You're not looking on growth and self-improvement as doing it out of anger and frustration, like, oh, I'm not there, you should compare yourself with someone else. No, you look on this process from the eyes of an observer who sees the best in you. And he also sees that, well, maybe you are not the embodiment of what could be truly the best, what could come out of you as the greatest expression of you. Like in art to me is such a great example of that, because every time I finish a painting, I see, okay, I could do it better the next time. Not that same painting, but I know in the next painting I will maybe add more details, or I will play even more, or I will try something else, or I will try this new technique. It's a constant exploration of a deeper perfection. That's what alchemy is all about. That's what nature is doing all the time, right? It's a process towards highest perfection. In metals in nature, we see it in gold. Alchemists believe that each metal eventually transforms into gold by the very slow and gradual process of purification. Therefore, gold in alchemy was the highest expression of metal, the highest expression of matter, and therefore gold was often used as a symbol of the highest version you could become. So they said you firstly need you firstly need to discover gold within you, and then you will be able to transmute also metals into gold. So it's like finding gold within yourself and aiming towards it through the heart that is inspired, right? The spirit of Christ, the passion of Christ, isn't it? This is the real Christ consciousness. When you're being inspired to improve, inspired to be better, inspired to be higher. Not from a sense like not being good enough, but from a sense of wanting to experience more from life, like aiming to walk with this inner fire. And that is a beautiful thing. This is the art of detachment, because now you allow life to move you. Now you allow also to accept challenges, because you know they will shape you, they will teach you, and they will prepare you for everything you ever wanted. So even though creation has a plan for you, it doesn't mean you don't deserve your desires and wants and needs. You can have all of them while still walking the path of creation. You can have all of that. Sometimes people say, yeah, my life was already been planned, or there is already, God's plan. So I can't, I feel guilty if I want these things. No, you don't need to feel guilty. You can have anything you want. The point is that you don't lose yourself in these things, that they don't touch your pride, and you don't become egoistic and arrogant because of that. You can have whatever you want and still stay humble and grateful, right? You can actually give it away. So, well, it all depends of how you look at things. So the art of detachment also says, don't get too attached to outcomes, right? What I said, whatever is the vision for the future, don't get attached to it. Like, have it as a guiding map. Know that it's already present. If you can see it, it's already real. It already exists. Another alchemical wisdom is that things firstly materialize in ether. They call it the spiritual chemistry. And then if you don't change what you've created in your mind, it will slowly materialize in the physical chemistry. So they call the etheric energy or ether, they called it a spiritual chemistry, because every time you work with manifestation, with visualization and using your intentions, what we said at the beginning of this video, when you work with creative mind to design your future, to design your life, you're actually designing it on etheric level, on energy plane. And there is not needed much work, because each thought already creates an immediate effect there. The problem is that most people don't know what they want, or they're constantly, impulsively jumping around. Like today they want this, but tomorrow they want that. So one day they create an effect, but it never materialized, because the next day they already have something else. So it's all about consistency. On a material plane, you need to be consistent with thinking. That's why affirmations can be very powerful if they work for you, if you resonate with them. For other people, consistent visualization is powerful. And for other people, consistent hard work is very useful. It depends on what frequency you are and what works for you the most. I've noticed that if I'm doing daily visualization for something I want to manifest, and if I take a lot of action with it, action that inspires me and fulfills me, I see that things manifest very, very, very fast. So they call this process as spiritual chemicalization. And this is a very interesting thing. You don't need to be attached to the outcome. You just need to know, as soon as you have clear idea, clear intention, it will happen. Doesn't matter when it will happen, it will be the right time. So it's all you need to know. This is the art of detachment, knowing that when you know exactly what you want, when you have these clear intentions, when you have this clear vision for the future, it will happen. Just don't jump from one thing to another. Stay consistent with it until it happens. That's why it's good to start with small things and seeing them materialize, to recognize that it truly works, that you truly are a creator. Another art to detachment is to trust that everything will work out in the end, that everything will work out, whatever you know that is the best will work out. Nature naturally balances itself. This is the law of nature. It is balance, right? We have the law of polarity, the principle of polarity. Again, back in Hermetic teachings, they had the principle of polarity, which says that everything has its opposite and they're balancing each other out, like good and bad, or black and white, or hot and cold. Everything is constantly balancing itself, which means that also doesn't matter how crazy the situation on the world looks like right now. You're still looking at the microcosmos of the great macrocosmos. There are so many forces in place you don't even realize that are constantly actually influencing everything that's happening. So if you're looking just at small details, you will never see the big picture. Like if you would step very close to a TV screen and look at it, you would see tiny dots, right? You would not see a movie, you would not see what's actually playing on the screen. You need to make a few steps backwards to see a big picture. That same in life, that same in, like, if you look at the situation on the world right now, you maybe see what was projected to you through media or whatever, but actually there are all these forces in place balancing things out, which means that sometimes some people will get inspired to become the solution that may change everything in the world. And that's why you need to pay attention to what inspires you, because you may be a change for something as well. You may be a change for someone in your family. You may be a change for someone on the internet. You may be a change for someone in your neighborhood. You never know. You may be a change for someone at your job. You never know if you don't really question what inspires you. Maybe a good song, an artist, someone inspires you and you're like, oh man, I want to do something with that. And all inspired, you go at your job and you just do something great there. Or I don't know, like in the past I was so inspired by hip hop artists and what I felt, I said, oh, one day I want to do something that other people will be able to feel what I feel when I'm listening this music. So I want to give, I want to produce, I want to create something that will make other people feel what I feel when I get inspired. So this is the power of inspiration. It just moves you into the direction where you naturally awaken to your inner fire that starts guiding you. That's why ancients always said, whatever you do, just make sure your fire doesn't burn out. Nurture it, take care of it, listen to it. See and hear what it needs, because you have your own guidance and it needs something. Sometimes it needs to be heard. Sometimes you need more solitude. Sometimes you need separation from others. Sometimes you need a pause in your life. Sometimes you need to express it. Sometimes you need to write your mind down. Sometimes you need to dance. Sometimes you need to move. And it will start speaking louder. Listen to yourself. This all comes back to the art of detachment. So many people are living in their minds. But you see, artificial intelligence is slowly replacing the thinking, the intellect, the logic, which is partially also a good thing because of that, people will go deeper into their bodies, into feeling. Artificial intelligence is not here to feel, it's here to think. And our evolution of consciousness is actually leading us deeper into feeling. That's why so many more evolved souls are very sensitive empaths, because they're already more evolved. They're more in feeling than thinking. They're more in sensing than just thinking. Because the purpose of the mind was never just to intellectualize things and to walk around all logical and stuff. The purpose of the mind was to serve, as the creator. Mind is constantly creating. Whatever you think, you also project into reality, and then it manifests. As I said before, on ether, it manifests. It's creating results all the time. That's why it's so important to have sharp mind, because it's actually your tool. Your mind is your tool. So when it comes to detachment in this case, well, it means detach from false ideas, detach from what you've heard, detach from unneeded intellectual, constructs, and focus rather on the life you want to create, and really devote yourself to that creation. So you create results for yourself, that you start believing into your own power, because once you believe, well, you can't go back, right? Once your mind was changed, it can never go back to where it was. And that is a very great thing you can do. This is all connected to the art of detachment. Many of you are attached to ideas, to identities. Again, many ancient wise people said, man doesn't make ideas, ideas make man, right? So as long as you're attached to the ideas that are actually destructive, like believing that you're powerless, believing that you're weak, believing that you're poor, believing that you're broke, believing that you're sick, believing that you're this and that, well, you will just experience more of that. Sure, if you're broke or sick or whatever, even if you say to yourself, I'm rich and that, will not help. But if you start actually questioning how to improve health, how to become richer, how to become more abundant, you will come across people who've been through the same journey you're going through right now, and you will notice the changes they've made in their lives that will make you believe that actually you can do it too. And eventually you will realize what it truly means to detach from false ideas, because actually they're making you. All ideas you're attached to are actually creating you. And once you detach from them through expansion of awareness and greater knowledge, you will begin to recognize what it truly means to become who you came here to be. You will notice there is something beyond your thoughts. There's something beyond your mind. And it is your essence. You will never understand your essence through mind, because mind was not created to understand the essence. Mind was not created to comprehend the soul, the consciousness. It was created to express it. But through senses, through sensing, through intuition, through your inner knowing, you sense it, you know it. So the art of detachment also is to learn to detach from thinking here and there, to connect with the essence by sensing it, by knowing it. As Walter Russell said, we're slowly moving through the process of evolution where humanity is moving or ascending from human sensing to human knowing. But firstly, we need to fully embrace our senses, right? We can't run around and say, oh, I'm weak because I'm sensitive. No, I just haven't mastered my senses. Firstly, I should acknowledge why I feel weak. Maybe because I was surrounded with too much negativity and toxicity. Oh, I need to declutter my life. I need to set boundaries. I need to spend more time at places that are actually recharging me and building me. Right? And then you start noticing that your nervous system rejuvenates. When your nervous system rejuvenates, your intuition becomes louder. When your intuition becomes louder, you suddenly know who you are. When you suddenly know who you are, you don't want to go back into the old life. You want to build a new life. And suddenly you'll notice that the whole universe starts supporting you. So, of course, it's a lot of devotion in this work. It's a lot of trust. It's a lot of sacrifice in this work. But behind all of that, there is a power, there is a higher you, there is the source, right? The source of you that is truly the highest you. And eventually you will discover it. And this is the ultimate detachment from the material world, where you recognize that you are actually the source of the experiences and observer of what you've actually experienced. So you can be in this world, but you will know that you're not of this world. You will experience life, but you will know that you don't need to be affected by it. You will walk through life, but you will never be hurt by it. So all you will feel at that point is a sense of bliss, a sense of inspiration, and a deep sense of compassion for all living things, all living beings. And again, this is another ideal you may be looking up for, and it shouldn't be in your mind. It should be in your heart. Don't think, oh, I am this, or affirm this. Just stay curious for it and let your heart guide you towards it. My friends, I hope you've enjoyed in this one, a bit longer one, but hey, message needed to come out, right? I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to everyone for supporting my art in our store, AttractPassion.com. I hope you've enjoyed in this one. And you can also find my art on its store, I Draw My Passion. Check it out, whatever platform you prefer the most. Also, thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community, where you can find the community chat, the exclusive content, and with that you're also supporting this channel so we can keep up with this mission. And for that, I'm truly grateful. So, my friends, have a wonderful day. Stay connected and keep evolving, keep rising. I'm looking forward to see you glowing. Till next time, one love.